Alrighty, welcome back, you patient little watcher, you, to the last in the series on my Red Pill review, critiquing the argument for the use of seduction in the dating game. Look, I want to start off by saying this may have sounded like a bit of a personal attack on the Red Pill or even the whole manosphere community. I swear it's not. If anything, it's my attempt to enhance those communities so they can be even more helpful than they already are. I've been deliberately as critical and skeptical as possible for a couple of reasons. One is I'm already quite severely biased towards the idea that seduction is very harmful to connections, it's harmful to people's psyches, and it's not even a very effective way to get laid. I also really do believe that having integrity, learning how to be boldly honest while being vulnerable, learning how to respect other people, learning how to lead the way and show what integrity looks like so that people can follow your lead is the best way to build a connection. And that comes a lot from my own anecdotal experience and from the case studies of the many hundreds of people I've helped apply this kind of approach to their life. And of course from my own experience in the pickup artist community being something that only led me down a very dark, narcissistic path that did not help me connect better with people. It just made me kind of psychopathic. And many of the other men I've seen go down that path in the same way. And I've seen very few healthy relationships come out of the pickup artist seduction approach to interacting with women. But Red Pill, the manosphere, the intentions, I couldn't agree with more. Men do need support. We are struggling, especially when it comes to connection, when it comes to responsibility and ownership and integrity. We need support. We need communities where guys help each other out. We need communities where we can get together and just say, hey, sometimes life sucks for us. And Red Pill, Manosphere, they provide a lot of groups for that to happen. I'm more on board with the Red Pill concepts than I am with its enemies like modern day feminism. Red Pill provides some pretty good guidance, especially in the self-development field outside of seduction. Some reality checks about the risks that men face in marriage and other relationship issues. Some great information and supportive peers. And there's no but coming after this. I really want to validate how they are. And I want to enhance that by this critique on their views on seduction, which I think are holding them back from greatness. See, the main issue in the manosphere and that argument for seduction seems, from my personal perspective, to be the leaders, which are coming from a very dark personal history with women. When I looked into the guys who are saying you need to use seduction, I found often quite devastating divorces. I found that they were badly hurt by women. And in other ones, I was pretty sure that they had been born as psychopathically detached. And all of these experiences and these mindsets skew the advice they're giving. And they're surrounded by men who have also been hurt, and this echo chamber is formed. These guys have all come to the conclusion that the pain they experience with women is because of women. It's very easy to come to that conclusion, but it's also very wrong to come to that conclusion. Right? If I get bitten by a lion, it's not the lion's fault, it's because I was in a place where I was fucking with a lion. That decision-making process is what I need to look at to prevent myself from being bitten by a lion again. And that lion does not represent all animals. It's just that lion that bit me. So when it comes to the manosphere and their perspective on women, just because you seem to keep getting yourself in the lion's den with women and they keep hurting you, doesn't mean that all women are lions, and it certainly doesn't mean it's their fault for you being in pain. Your decisions lead to your pain, and until you take responsibility for that, there's no amount of seduction in the world that can save you from that pain. The Red Pill argument for the use of seduction to build connections with women can be boiled down to quite a simple narrative. And the narrative is, women are a different species who often hurt my feelings. So now I must either control them or punish them to protect myself from pain. But these views do not represent all or even most relationship experiences for men. They really don't. But they are portrayed as if they represent, as if the anecdotal experiences of the guys in this community are representative globally. They aren't. The dating and relationship space in the manosphere and the red pill community, it's become very misogyny flavored and an echo chamber. Probably because everyone who joins the community often does so from a painful experience with women that's continuing. I couldn't find many people in the community who weren't using seduction and having good experiences with women. That combination, I couldn't find it. Didn't mean it wasn't there, I couldn't find it. Red Pill also seems very confused about the concept of responsibility and integrity. They claim that a man should be responsible for himself, and then yet at the same breath they'll blame women for men's problems, which isn't responsibility, that's blame. They'll claim that a man should be true to themselves and have integrity, and then also support being false and seductive and manipulative in their interactions with women. To those of you in Red Pill who really do believe in seduction, can I ask that you at least stop trying to promote responsibility and integrity and be clear on your message? Either you're a victim to a woman who's going to lash out with seduction, and that's fine, despite my language, I'm not actually judging you. Or you're a man of integrity who's going to take responsibility for his life, which cannot include seduction. It cannot. There's too much dishonesty in seduction for it to count under the definition of responsibility or integrity. You're either a leader or a follower, so decide. Becoming more psychopathic and more manipulative can't possibly end the battle of the sexes, if there is such a thing. It'd be a much more promising approach for men to aim to lead with integrity, whilst also recognizing the women who are already doing that. There are plenty of women out there who don't use sexual manipulation, who aren't falling for the kind of third wave feminism, male hating, play games kind of bullshit. And they're just being real with people. And they come to me, I get emails every week from frustrated women who just wants their man to be a man and stop playing games. I have deep faith that Red Pill and communities like it, who currently support the idea of seduction, could become a better force for good in the world of men. And not end up going the way of groups. There's some subgroups that went dark, like incels and men going their own way, MGTOW. You know, the incels went from like a group of virgins or sexless guys supporting each other in misery to become severely fucked up woman haters because of this view of women. And MGTOW is the same. MGTOW is basically a group of men who have become terrified of the risks of interacting with women, and they've given up on loving relationships completely. You know, Red Pill and other communities don't have to end up going down that path, but they're heading down it. You read the articles, they're getting ever more misogynistic over time. People are getting dark and bitter and resentful, and seduction's not going to cure that. Red Pill is becoming at risk of poisoning men's minds about women, making women out to be stupid and evil and unloving, when in reality women are just Homo sapiens, great apes just like us. We have more in common with them than we do have differences, psychologically and physiologically. I've got to say, I was quite disturbed by the similarities between the Red Pill argument for seduction and the excuses that I used to hear from serial rapists and child sex offenders when I was working in Department of Corrections. The reasoning's identical. It's very women deserve this type reasoning, women must have this type of reasoning, and even women want this type reasoning. It's really fucked up reasoning to bring into connecting with another human being. It's just psychopathic. If I was to change Red Pill, I'd simply cut the parts about blaming women and promoting seduction. The rest is fucking gold. It really is. I've looked through a lot of it. I found myself nodding as I watched the videos and going, fuck, that would build some confidence, and this guy knows what he's talking about, and on. Until they start talking about seduction or women, I'm nodding along. Keep encouraging guys to take responsibility and author their own lives and communicate with other men better and build male connections. Just cut the bit where you say women are shit, because it's not true. It's just based on your own very small echo chamber of experience with the worst sample of women, probably. You know, try to look to bridge the gap between the sexes instead of digging trenches and buying better weapons. You know, this war cannot end without men taking responsibility for their shit. And most of all, especially you guys who have had painful experiences with women, the answers to those painful experiences are in here. Ultimately, it had nothing to do with women. If you were a man who took care of his own mind and built his own confidence and integrity, if there was a manipulative woman out there, she wouldn't be able to get through to you. She wouldn't be able to fuck you over. You had something going on already before she met you. Your own neediness, your darkness, your insecurities, that's what brings pain into your life. That's what attracts abusive people and bullies. And that's what makes you behave in a way that wrecks relationships and friendships and gets you stuck in the friend zone and prevents you from getting laid and all those things you want. It's in here. I'm talking from my own personal experience. It was a big, humbling transition I had to make where I realized, hey, the reason I've had consistently fucked up relationships with women is this common factor. And I'm not just talking about my semi-ugly face, I mean my mind. Once I started going, okay, fuck, women are not the issue, my mind's the issue, I need to sort my mind out, women stopped being the issue. And they really did. They started treating me better. I started having better relationships. I'm now engaged to the love of my life. And I didn't seduce her at all. Well, not deliberately anyway. I was just me. I farted on our first date. I told her all the worst things about myself. I tried to push her away with honesty, make sure she knew all my shit. I let her see me when I'm angry. I'm caring and compassionate. I'm so many things that seduction advocates say don't be. And she loves me anyway. And I'm sure the same can happen for you once you sort your shit out. And no woman can do that for you. I welcome an ongoing discussion on this. Just because I spent many hours reviewing Red Pill doesn't actually mean that I'm right. And many of the biases and argument fallacies that I accuse Red Pill of using, I've probably also used myself. I'm not infallible here. I'm open to discussion. But what I have to come to the eventual conclusion, I went through Red Pill as deep as I possibly could to let them convince me that seduction was a good idea, and all they served to do was convince me that seduction is a fucking awful idea when it comes to connection or any other reason you might do it. Try integrity instead. If you want to know more about integrity, check out brojo.org and we'll talk about more there. This isn't a sales pitch, it's just the other idea. If you believe seduction is right for you after all of this, then go ahead and do it. It's your life and your choice. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope to hear feedback from you, no matter how nasty it gets. And I look forward to seeing you all virtually next time. Cheers.